marks an historic day not just for the Indian Space Agency but for the whole nation. India's ambitious project Chandrayaan-3 is going to do its soft landing on the south pole of the moon. While all the scientists and the Isro, the whole Indian Space Agency, is optimistic and confident that this soft landing of the Chandrayaan-3 will be successful and the rover will land on the surface of the moon, there are certain concerns whether this will be a successful landing or the spacecraft would go ahead and crash into the moon surface and meet the same fate as the Russia's moon-bound spacecraft Luna 23. Well, one need not worry about this. There are very few chances of a crash landing. The reason behind it is the failure-based design that has been equipped in the Chandrayaan-3 by the Isro. So what is this failure-based design that has been incorporated in the Chandrayaan-3 that will prevent the crash landing of the Indian moon-bound spacecraft? Well, let me explain it in simpler terms. This failure-based design incorporated has various aspects which will identify and detect the failure scenarios, the potential failure scenarios that would lead the spacecraft to crash into the moon surface and prevent such scenarios. There are various aspects which the Isro has worked out on. Some of these various aspects are the increase in the landing area on the moon surface. In Chandrayaan-2, the landing surface area was 500 into 500 square meter. So this landing area for the spacecraft was very much lesser in the area that where the spacecraft was supposed to land. So this lesser area prevented this particular Chandrayaan-2 in the previous mission to rotate, the ability to rotate. Hence, this was one of the reasons which led to the crash of the Chandrayaan-2. But in this particular Chandrayaan-3 mission, the landing area is pretty much bigger when compared to the previous mission. So if the things go haywire, the rover which is supposed to land the spacecraft will have more surface area and a given ability to rotate on this particular area so that a crash landing doesn't occur. And various other aspects which have been incorporated are a more number of solar panels so that it can generate more energy for this particular spacecraft and facilitate landing. And also the fuel that has been injected into the spacecraft is in larger quantity to ensure that a smooth landing, and even if the spacecraft wants to have an alternate landing, this fuel will come to its use and facilitate the landing. So certain aspects like this, a more number of solar panels, increased quantity of fuel, and also increase in the area of the landing area of the spacecraft, various other aspects coupled up form this particular failure-based design of the Indian spacecraft. So this will ensure that it will identify the potential failures of this particular landing that is going to take place and prevent all these landing failures and ensure a smooth landing of the moon-bound spacecraft.